What you want, what you want, what you gonna do when Chevy John Brown come for you? Tell me what you wanna
Welcome back, Santa Clarita Valley. We're here on your Neighborhood Watch on the hometown station, KHTS.
And you know,
AM
the Neighborhood
1220.
Watch is also on the KHTS AM 1220 YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
And
You
I
can
hope
catch
to
us in
that
video.
dance that you were just doing, two inner circles, bad boy,
That was not a pretty sight. It's not an arrestable offense, though.
Makes it to the YouTube.
Even though it should be. It is not arrestable for my dancing in public. Anyways, talking about getting back to the topic du jour, which is the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station, and what you guys are doing in the community. There was a couple of sting operations that local deputies were working in conjunction with other units throughout Los Angeles County. Obviously, Sheriff's Department is a countywide resource for Los Angeles County. And you were working with the Vice Unit of the Major Crimes
Right.
Bureau, if I'm not mistaken.
Back on, what was it, a week ago? 2 weeks ago?
It was. What do we
It was
have?
on Friday, March 7th.
Exactly.
So back on March 7th, Friday, our deputies here, Crime Prevention Unit deputies, Santa Clarita Sheriff's Station deputies, partnered with Major Crimes Vice detectives from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department Major Crimes Unit, and we did a John Sting and prostitution sweep. It was kind of a two-part operation.
Now, two parts in that you guys were also, you're not only trying to catch Johns in the act of soliciting prostitution, but also posing as to try to catch John.
Right.
Both ways.
Both
right?
ways.
Right. Okay.
So, you know, obviously Interstate 5 is close proximity to the Castaic area. Castaic being in our patrol area of the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station, which Interstate 5 is an artery of travel for both legal and illegal activities, you know, narcotics, human trafficking, smuggling throughout the state. And so we kind of want to be on the front end of this. So we partnered with detectives from the Major Crimes Bureau, like I said, and we conducted a 12-hour John Sting and prostitution sweep back on Friday, March 7th.
So when does an operation like that get started? Because I imagine it's a little more effective at night, or do you start during the day? I mean, I don't know much
Well,
about
we started
prostitution
during
in Johns.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
We started during the daytime hours and then worked our way into the night and then late evening hours. And that Friday's operation utilized female deputies in an undercover capacity to pose as prostitutes and male deputy in an undercover capacity to pose as the Johns. So another mission, or our mission, was to arrest and identify suspects, you know, for various prostitution violations. And another aspect of that mission on Friday, March 7th, was to attempt to identify any victims of human trafficking or have been forced into the, you know, life of prostitution. So it's, you know, I think it's important, and you know, the deputies that were working it, you know, thought it was important.
And part of that, I would imagine, is you get an arrest and then you try to get more information.
Right, especially if there's a crime, and you know, most people say it in a joking manner, but there's a crime of being a pimp or pimping, and you know, oftentimes that will lead to human trafficking type stuff. So you know, obviously, in very lengthy, serious investigations.
Right.
So at the conclusion of that operation on March 7th, 3 males were placed under arrest for solicitation to engage in prostitution. 2 of the males were adult residents. They lived in Bakersfield, and then the third male was a traveler, and he lived in the state of Massachusetts. And all 3 were ultimately arrested in the Castaic area there, and then we brought them to the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station for booking and processing.
Now, I'd imagine the person from Massachusetts was a truck driver. You guess him passing through.
You know what? I don't know off the top of my head. I believe so, but I don't know for sure. And ultimately, they will be processed, you know, mugshots and be issued a court date.
Okay. And so we'll be following that on hometownstation.com. And you know, one of the ways we found out about this, important to mention, through the Nixle reports that the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station puts out.
Right.
You guys keep us apprised of what's going on.
Right. And you know, a lot of it's tricky to do undercover operations, and I haven't done
Especially
very
social
many,
media
and I was involved in this one. You know, with social media and the way things get around, you know, we had like I said, there's 2 aspects to it. But when our female deputies were dressed in undercover, posing as prostitutes, there were other patrons in the area that alluded to people that they might be undercover cops, and so that kind of put a damper in our operation.
Right.
But ultimately 3 people were arrested, and some
after
new
the
intel
fact-
was gained, and different things like that. So especially when it comes to human trafficking, like I said, these investigations are very lengthy and very detailed and time oriented. So.
And so you want to let people know after the fact what you're doing about that, so they can follow it on the Nixle reports and find
Right.
out what's going on in their area,
Exactly.
which is a great resource. And there was a second undercover operation. We're probably going to have to talk about a little bit about this on the next break, but just to get us started, there was a massage parlor sting, all right? And this hasn't been put out yet. I'm going to imagine this is going to go out on Nixle.
Right.
The show, but you're giving us the breaking.
I'm gonna work
news.
on a press release today, put it out on Nixle, and then we'll do some stuff with you and other local media. And this actually happened into last night. So breaking news here on the Neighborhood Watch.
Breaking news situation. And this was, again, the Sheriff's Department and the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station working with multiple other agencies, if I understand correctly, to kind of address this crimes that are going on in the massage parlors or any potential crimes.
Right, and there's so many agencies that helped us with yesterday's operation. I brought a list.
You like the Oscar Award. You
Because
don't
like the
wanna forget
Oscar Awards,
anybody.
I don't want to forget anybody because it really was a joint team effort. So
Okay.
I want to give everybody their dues, and so let me read off this list.
Give props.
Give props because it's successful. And I think this stuff is important.
And it was a lengthy operation.
It was a lengthy operation, right? California Employment Development Department, the EDD, Department of Industrial Relations, Los Angeles County Treasury and Tax Collector, Los Angeles County Major Crimes Bureau Licensing Unit and Morals Team, Vice Detectives, our CPU team, deputy sheriff translators from other sheriff's department units, the city of Santa Clarita community preservation officers, code enforcement officers from the city of Santa Clarita, and 2 officers from the Azusa Police Department accompanying us as observers to see how we do our operations, so they could take that knowledge back to their agency.
So you guys.
That's a lot of people.
It is. And so you guys are sharing information not only with other Sheriff's Department resources, but with, other police departments out there.
Right. So are we taking a break, or can we talk about some of the stuff we did?
probably should.
It's break time.
Our studio engineer, Mark Urbina, has given us that signal. So
It's
we'll be
break time,
back.
and then we'll talk about a little more of...
Very quick commercial break, and then we want to talk about more what Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station deputies are doing to keep us safe on your Neighborhood Watch on KHTS AM 1220.